Alright, so for the people that are still watching my channels, I went down to Afro RC on Vancouver Island the other day. I've been here for weeks and weeks enjoying this beautiful place in British Columbia. And when I was at Afro RC's hobby shop, he actually showed me that they had put rear steer in a mini crawler, an AXIAL 124 scale or an AXIAL SCX24. I'll leave a link to some in the video description box below for you to check out. We've been doing rear steer in our 10 scales for such a long time, and as well in our micros, but I have not done a micro rear steer install, and so many people asked me to show you guys how to do it if I was going to do it to one of my rigs. And I've got a few of my smaller crawlers with me, and I thought I would show you today. Let's put in rear steer into our 124 scale crawlers. Alright, if you are new to my channel, welcome. I do have two different channels, both under the name of RC Sparks. One is RC Sparks Studio, the other is RC Sparks TV. And check it out, these are very small trucks. Look at the size of my hand here, 124 scale 4x4s. I've been on YouTube for many years promoting the great hobby of radio control and the many aspects and values of this hobby. Not just in the cool technology, but also in the friendships and the relationships you can build and have. It is incredible how many people are into these kind of trucks. Now, big or small, we love to wheel them all. This one right here, this seafoam green, is all stock except for the wheels on here. We just switched out the wheels with another model, but everything on the inside is stock. Okay, battery, ESC, and receiver in one here. Here is my modded one, the Skeep, the Skull Jeep. Thank you, RC Athletes, for nicknaming my Skull Jeep there, the Skeep. This one actually has the front bumper mod done where it's flipped upside down, the brass differential weights for, well, in front and back, and then of course the outside brass weights for my wheels and steering. Now, what do we want to do to give this rear wheel steering? This is actually the one I'm going to do it to. Look at this. This is the back axle. Everything stock. There is no steering apparatus, but if you go to the front, let's just look at this one because it's a little more cleaner. You can see that it's an individual axle. This whole thing has the servo, the steering servo is mounted right to the axle, okay? You can see the steering horn moving right there, and all of this is just one piece. So all I need to do is remove this axle from these two links, if I can get that to focus there for you right there. So that axle from this link and that link, basically remove one piece of the drive shaft, and then undo the shocks after I take off the wheels. I should be able to remove that complete axle and steering piece and simply swap it over to the back. Now I'll show you what I mean. Let me get a little bit of progress here. So here I've removed the two shocks. Now the only thing I need to do is remove this upper link right here. This is for the upper link for the suspension, and then the two lower links. Now I'm just going to remove the steering plug. Now this is if you had two SCX24s, if you're fortunate enough like me. If not, you can go onto eBay, the RC Recycler, or A-Main, all these different places. You can pick up these parts, go on Amazon, have a look around. Normally people part things out on eBay, and it's fairly easy to find something like this for a decent price. But you're going to notice I got a couple of wheel weights on here. This was to help give my Seafoam Green truck a little bit of weight up front. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I did not have one of these easy standing by, so I don't mind taking one apart just to show you guys, because putting it back is actually fairly simple. So now you'll see all the links are off. That's one part of the drive shaft, and that's it. This now needs to be transplanted onto the back. Here, you guys probably saw my receiver earlier. It actually gets velcroed up to the top there. That's why it was hanging down. And the battery, we'll get into that. What I'm going to do now is undo the back axle off of my truck and start switching over that diff cover, that diff case, onto this one here to keep that added weight. Now let's see this. I didn't do it step by step, but all I did was replace the axle in the back. There's nothing I switched out, nothing changed places, except for the upper links are now mounted on the outside of the mounting holes, which are right there. If you go on the inside, you'll actually run into rubbing issues on the drive shaft, so mounting them on the outside, no problem at all. Now you can see I've got 2 steering axles mounted up onto this skeep. Aha, so there, now we got some rear steer going on. You might be wondering what you would be doing for the plug, right? The servo has to have some sort of input. What would you do? Well, a lot of you aren't going to be using a third-party radio right away. This is the stock radio that it comes with. Did you ever notice that there was a 3rd channel on here that was unused? Well, that 3rd channel is a 3-position switch, which means in the middle would be straight, off to the left would turn your rear tires to the left, and then back to the middle and off to the right would turn them to the right. So you're not going to have proportional steering, like where you can input every little bit, but you will have it on a set left and right, which will help you crab crawl and or move the rear end around. Why would I show it on this? Well, in this one here, this has the, pardon me, this has the very stock and capable receiver and ESC. You'll notice that there is a auxiliary channel on there, and that would be your auxiliary 3. So all you need to do is plug that 3rd servo into that to make it to work. Make sure everything is set on the radio properly. All right, there's nothing there that you can see that's going to be changing channel 3 at all. So you don't really need to do anything except leave it in the middle. And then move your servo to the middle and then plug it into the aux. For me, I'm going to be doing the same thing on mine, except I'm going to be using aux port 2, which is out of focus there, sorry guys. Aux port 2 on there, right, come on, what's up with you camera? That's way worse. Aux port 2, which I can go in on the radio and actually set it up to one of my 3-position switches if I want. So forward would be neutral, and then forward again would be to the left, back again, and then back to the right. So if that makes any sense to you, hopefully it does. All right, so I figured the best look at this working, of course, would be outdoors. Here it is, my friend. So now I've got front steering as well as rear steer in the back. And the way I've set this up is on my 3-position switch. Now the reason I went to a different controller is because I have way more control over the settings. For example, I've already changed my travel settings, which is how far the servo will throw, right? So it's not overthrowing. And on a 3-position switch, I can set it up momentarily where it's not just on and then I have to do a physical switch change to actually make it move. It's just releasing. So left and right and then back to the middle. So I made sure to set my travel. I made sure to map the right one. Listen to that control, my friends. Here, I'll get it in the sunlight here. Nice big shadow of the camera. Let's see. So there we go. Lyle, I know you're watching. You're going to want this for your gravedigger, sir. Of course, every monster truck should have rear steer. Well, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. For any questions that you have, please leave them in the comment section down below. I always do my best to read comments all across my channels and help out as many people as possible when I can. And yeah, that's the show for today. So if you loved it, please leave a like click. If you want to share it with somebody because you think it'll helpful, pass the information along. It's an open concept hobby. A big shout out to Afro RC for showing this idea to us so we could show the public how to do this on a mass scale. Check the information box down below for a link to his website. And of course, as always, go outside, have fun with the hobby of RC, and we will see you in the next video. In fact, here's one for you right now.